to fuck Samuel? We have 3 ways. Okay, let's come
3 ways, right?
Let's come to the sharing session. Sammy, be serious.
You will find something on your bed tonight.
Be serious.
It is recording.
Yes, it is recording, so be serious. Okay, I'll tell you something about this movie, The Social Network. Actually, Zuckerberg is the main character of this movie. You know, he's kind of like a geek. He is very into computer. He can make computer programs, stay in dormitory for weeks, just focusing on one project. And actually, he is doing simultaneous projects as well. He's very fast. He's very fast at making different projects. And he came up with the face mesh that I told you before, the face mesh. In the movie, the face mesh really make him famous all around the campus. But
in the movie or in the reality?
Both in the movie and reality. Now, I'll only focus on the movie. You just suppose the movie reflects some kind of reality. Okay? So actually, they make a lot of troubles by bringing the face mesh online because they cause some discrimination, maybe. So the school actually, the principal really want him to terminate the academic prohibition for 6 months. So that's a very serious issue. But after that, he is called by somebody else to finish a Friend Connect. Friend Connect, I think it's a Friend Connection is a kind of service existing in Harvard University. It's kind of some sort of like Facebook, but it's not that great at that time. So they invited Zuckerberg to join them and finish the code for them. But actually, Zuckerberg got the idea, and he didn't show up for 42 days. And within the 42 days, he came up with the Facebook.com. And it went online. So the original people who come up with the face connection ideas, they're very angry about it. They're going to sue him, but they didn't. But it also brings them a lot of trouble. Another guy called Edward is actually a kind of business type. I think it's more similar to Marvel type. He's not into the technology, but he is very into the business part. So he just went out and looking for advertisers because the Facebook is expanding to different schools, different universities. But they have conflicts with Zuckerberg because Zuckerberg doesn't want the Facebook to have so much advertisement. Zuckerberg thought that it was not a finished product yet. They still need to improve the product, and they cannot insert any advertisement. So in the coming vacation, in the coming summer vacation, they fly to California. They fly to a place called a place around Silicon Valley, Palo Alto, some sort of name like that. They fly to California, but the business type, that kind of guy, Edward, didn't fly with them. He just fly to New York City to find advertisers, expanding the business. Well, Zuckerberg and another technical guy, Moscovy, they began to work at California, close to Silicon Valley. And they met a guy called Parker. Parker is kind of guy, who haven't graduated from high school. But he is very smart. He found the music sharing website called Napster. Napster is a music sharing website. But it also brought him a lot of trouble because of the copyright. So he was sued by all the CD companies. So he was bankrupt again. And he's just hanging around with girls, with drugs, with different kind of people. And they met Zuckerberg at California. So they invited Parker in. Because Parker, though he is not graduated from high school, but he's very experienced in the basics part. He knew a lot of people from Silicon Valley. But when Edward heard that, he was very unhappy because he thought Parker got something to do with drugs, with girls, and his lifestyle is not good. So Edward refused to work with Parker, but Zuckerberg decided to work with Parker. So they have a very great conflict. Then Edward suspend their bank account. You must not work with Parker, or I will suspend your bank account. But Parker already found a VC for the Facebook. So they went for the VC, and the VC agreed them to give them $500,000 for the initial investment in exchange of 9% of the stocks, of the ownership. And Zuckerberg agreed. So Zuckerberg called Edward from New York City to California to sign this contract. But because the VC was involved, so the old stock must be replaced with a new agreement. In the new agreement, Zuckerberg had 51% because he don't care about money. He just concerned about control. So he had 51% of ownership of the Facebook, and Parker had 9%. And Edward had 34% of the Facebook, but he didn't realize that it's like how to say that, it's a trick. It's a trick. After Edward signed this contract, and they begin to sell new stocks, and this new stock come from Edward's parts. So, within 10 months, Edward's, the ownership of the Facebook dropped to 0.03%, which definitely means that he don't own the company anymore. So he also sued Zuckerberg. And at last, at the end of the movie, they agreed because they don't want to go for the court and fight with each other. They have an agreement, and Zuckerberg paid the two brothers who have ideas of the Friends connection. They paid them about, I think, $56 million for their ideas. And also, Edward came back to the Facebook again, and I think they gave them the stocks, but the amount is unknown. So that's the whole story. And if you see, you feel, wow, it's really, really a long and interesting story. And we can see that from two sides. One is technical side. And that guy, really genius, make a lot of program, make a lot of side project, and he made a success. It seems that it's so naturally like that. But for the business part, they got a lot of issues. They have conflicts, the Parker and Edward. So, in real practice, you will find out you want to follow principles, but there will be something wrong. You can figure that out. What's the point? Why there's something wrong? I think mostly it's about people. It's about the value system. For example, Edward just want to earn money quick. So he want an advertisement. So that's why they have conflict with Zuckerberg. While Zuckerberg don't want Facebook to go to the advertisement so soon. So that's why they have conflicts. So when we come to people, it's very complex. It's never like what you logically think about something and something will happen. It's about people. So we shall really, I think I recommend you to have a look at the whole movie and you analyze it yourself. Those guys all from Harvard University. They are very great, but they still have these issues. So in the real world, it will become worse.
Do you want a copy? Do you want a copy of the movie? Maybe I will send you.
Okay, so that's my third session. Any questions?